right. Welcome once again to another episode of Sports Therapy with FH Jr. I am your host. This is week 13 of the NFL. Before we begin, I want to do a special shout out to my nephew, Ashley Givens. Ashley plays on the reason I'm shouting out to my nephew because big wherever he's at, everybody give him a big pat on the back and all that good stuff because he is a member of the Fighting Little Rock Parkview Patriots and they won the 5A state championship. He brought home the gold. Now, one thing about Ashley, which people don't know, is that he is the first person in our family ever win a championship. A lot of us played sports, but he was the first one to bring home the gold. So congratulations to Ashley and all of his fellow Little Rock Patriots, Parkview Patriots, for a job well done, fellas. Job well done. Well done. Well done. All right, so now let's get ready with the show. This is week 13 of the NFL season. I am your host, FH Jr., and this is Sports Therapy. A little bit about sports therapy for all the rule breakers. Once again, we are a show dedicated for fun and yucks. Callers will call in, and you will have 2 minutes to rip, rant, kick some knowledge, laugh about all things NFL, football related. Now, we don't talk politics. I don't give a fat rat's butt what the Democrats are doing, nor do I care what the Republicans are doing. We don't talk race relations or sexual orientation. All are welcome to the show. There is no fan shaming, although we may poke fun at each other, we may laugh at each other's expense, but it's only love. Now, our show is always sponsored by my favorite drink, Crown Royal. Crown Royal, and if you ever purchase Crown Royal, have a good time, but always remember, drink Crown Royal responsibly. Now, I think I got all that out the way. Woo! As we approach the holiday season, this is, I guess we would call it the season of beating because the day was wild and woolly. I know I always say every week is wild and woolly, but you know what? Every week is wild and woolly because there's something strange about this year's NFL season. There's no real dominant team. There's no team that you can just say, you know what? This team is going to just go on a run. At the beginning of the year, I actually thought I thought the Bills was going to be just like, we're just going to hand them the championship. But they came back to earth. So, along with the Kansas City Chiefs, one while, hell, they were looking like a video game. But, heck, So, we're going to talk about that and more. And hopefully, I know we're going to have a good time. You guys know how I do it. Call us. When you call in, you have 2 minutes to rip, rant, kick some knowledge, talk about your team or every other team. Now, remember, I get all my juice for when my callers call. I like to interact with my callers, and I don't want to carry the show all by myself. So if you are listening or you just out there and you want to know what the hell are you listening to, this is Sports Therapy with FH Jr. And the number to call if you want to be a live guest is 940-329-4110. We are streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. Also, you can actually catch us on Instagram. Yeah, I am on the gram. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too, man, because I just opened my Instagram account and I got suspended the first couple of days. Didn't know what I did wrong. I had to call, but I'm back up and running. So check me out on Instagram. Now, let's talk about, the logistics of the show is always about being able to rip, rant, kick a little knowledge, and share and all that good stuff. And I am a Commander fan, and you guys know how I always start to show off. I'm always decked out in the full Commander gear, augmented by the Commander hat, and I got the cool beard. Every time, I will always have on the standard uniform, except every once in a while, I will do a switcheroo on you. So we'll see next week if I want to do something different. But other than that, I will always don the standard uniform, which is my Washington Commanders. Now, we didn't win today, but we didn't lose. That is That is, I don't know how I'm feeling about that, man. I don't know if I'm mad or I'm upset or I'm happy because we're fighting for a spot in the playoffs. And the way things are going right now, there's a good chance that we'll get. Well, right now, every team in the NFC division, which, that's the Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders, we're all winning. We all have a winning record. But of course, we know not everybody's going to make the playoffs. So there's a fight. There's a fight. It is what it is. And I tell people, I'm a Commander fan, but I always cheer for all my fellow my fellow division teams to lose. Right now, as we're speaking, the Cowboys are playing the Colts. Now, come on now. They should take care of business. So I'm sure I'll be hearing from all the good Cowboy fans, and I'm sure I'll be hearing from a few others out there. But before we go any further, I'm going to talk about some scores for today. Now, there were a few major injuries. There were some injuries today, and so I'm going to talk about some scores. You guys let me reach for here. You guys, like I said, man, I don't just get out of bed and wing this show. Now let's talk about some scores real quick. This is week 13 in the NFL, and remember, when you call in, you can't talk about the whole show. I mean, the whole game. Now you want to, just pick one little event, something that just kick you over the edge. That's what we'll talk about. But you cannot just go into, hey man, we want to talk about the whole show. My team did this. We want to talk about the whole game. No, we can't do that. We don't have the time. I wish we did, but no, and plus, if we did, man, we would be on this bad boy all night long. But now let's go over some scores real quick. Now, this is week 13, and week 13 started. It started out with a bang on Thursday night when the Bills took on, when I say the Bills, the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills took on the New England Patriots. Now, that game, I really, it's hard to kind of get up for a Thursday night game. All depends on who's playing. Now, I got to be honest. All depends on who's playing. If it's going to be a dud, And I think what people don't understand is that the NFL and the networks, they get together before the beginning of the year and they kind of decide what network is going to carry which specific games. And sometimes when you look at certain games, okay, heck, this is going to be like a marquee game. And then sometimes it doesn't start out, it doesn't end up that way. Some teams are projected to do certain things, and then when the season starts, all of a sudden it's like, okay, for example, if we were to take a look at the Rams, they're Super Bowl champions. So you would think, okay, well, hell, any night that the Rams are going to be playing, that's going to be must-see TV, but not so fast because the Rams are basically they got a losing record. I think they were like 3-8 or something like that, 3-9. So it's like, okay, who the heck want to watch the Rams? I wanted to see the Rams today because hell, I needed them to come through for me and beat the team they were playing, but that didn't happen. So, but anyway, Thursday night wasn't that exciting for me. It didn't do anything for me, all because yeah, when I think about the New England Patriots, we talk about Bill Belichick. Now, there's always this ongoing conversation about, is it Brady or is it the coach? Is it Brady or is it Belichick? Who is the kingmaker? And since they had their divorce, I wouldn't say it's Brady, but a lot of times it has to do with the system, what works, what don't work, whatever. But they have I guess this would be their quarterback his second year, man. So they wouldn't let him really they tried, well, Belichick is conservative by nature anyway, so that game was a sleeper. The Bills were playing there, doing their thing. It was but in the whole game, they just would not let the quarterback throw the ball down the freaking field. And he got frustrated with the quarterback. There were some words, and he had a few negative things to say. But at the end of the day, you can't win if you do not try to challenge the ball downfield. I don't think they had a completion. Hell, I don't think it was anything further than maybe 10 yards if they did that. So the game was okay. It really wasn't, didn't do anything for me. I mean, Yeah, it wasn't nothing that you want to go home and tell your mom or call your mom about because that game really wasn't that. I was disappointed in it, but you guys know I have to watch all the games so I can kind of be able to talk about the games. But that was a sleeper. But I know my homeboy Glenn is out there somewhere because his Steelers took on the Falcons today, and that the score of that game was 19-16. If you're a big follower, because I know there's some Steelers fans out there. In fact, there's this little group that hangs out at Buffalo. They're called the Steel Pole Curtain. I think that's what they call themselves. But they are a great little group, and the Steelers roll heavy and deep. But if you are a follower of the Steelers, you know that their coach has never had a losing season. Now, they are getting close because I think they are 4-7. I'm pretty sure they're 4-7, and with about 5 more games to play, so that's gonna be that in itself is going to be interesting. Will they be able to keep the coach from having a losing season? So, Steelers won today. They won today, and now we had Packers taking on the Bears, and these be the Bear facts. Justin Fields was looking pretty good today. There was concerns about, well, bottom line, man, what are we doing? There's no blocking for my man. He's just out there slinging it around. But I was mostly disappointed in the Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers, because Rodgers needs to make up his mind. Hey man, am I gonna play? Am I gonna sit down? I'm gonna sit out. Because one minute he was like, hey, you know what? I'm all for letting the youngster play so we can kind of see what we're gonna have in him. But if you know anything about Aaron Rodgers, he runs hot and cold. And so one while he was saying, well, the reason he wasn't being successful, he finally said that he has an issue with his thumb. There was talk that he wasn't going to play, and then, well, he was playing, and now it's like, okay, who knows, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. So he played today. So, but they won. I figured he wasn't going to play, but he did. The Lions put a whipping on the Jags 40-14. Vikes over Giants 27-22. My Commanders. We didn't lose, we didn't tie. So at the end of the day, it was overtime. Overtime, the game was 20-20. I'm gonna circle back around and talk about that game because there were a lot of issues in reference to that game too. There were a lot of issues that game there. I was very disappointed in how that game turned out. Eagles. I thought the Titans would put up a better fight against the Eagles, which they didn't. They laid down. They got Eagles over Titans 35-10. Browns over Texans 27-14. Seahawks. Now I kind of hung around a little bit because I wanted to watch the Seahawks and the Rams because needed the Rams to beat the Seahawks, so it'll make up for my Commanders tie with the Giants. But they held on. That game was close, but it is what it is. Hold on, I got a caller coming in. See what we got. Sports therapy with F.A. Jr.
Hey, what's going on, Jenny?
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, it's nothing like a Cowboy fan. I would say, Chris. Chris,
I'm just gearing up, getting ready.
are you getting ready? Ready to do some play-by-play for me tonight?
I don't know how well I can do it now, but we'll give it a go, I guess.
Well, Chris, I was going over some scores here, and I will tell you, brother. I don't know what. How do you feel after a loss? How you supposed not a loss? See, I know how I'm supposed to feel after a loss, Chris. If I lose, then you feel like someone just ripped your heart, and your guts, and everything out from the inside. If you win, because that's just joy and Whoville. But a tie, a tie, you know.
It's there's a reason people say it's like kissing your sister. It's never fun. It's never anything you can really come to terms with. But I will say,
Chris, you are
you
terrible
guys,
with your examples, but I feel you. I
hey,
know,
but
man.
you guys rolled into New York, and you guys tied with a really good team who was leading for majority of that game. I think you still have a lot to be, excited about. You're not out of the hunt yet. You could still make the playoffs, but you're going on a bye, and they're coming to see you. I mean, think about how it's going to balance out in the NFC East.
I got you. I got you. I hear you. But there were, the gist of the show, Chris, is that callers get 2 minutes to call in and rip, rant, laugh, cry, kick their dog, whatever. Okay, but you can't talk about the whole game. Of course, I want to talk about the whole freaking game, but I can't talk about the whole freaking game. So I'm going to talk about some specific plays, events that sent me over the edge. One was, this happened, I believe, right about halftime, maybe in the third quarter, where Heineke throws a excuse me. Heineke throws like a 30-yard bomb, and we get the ball on the Giants, oh man, like 20-yard line, okay? The referee throw a flag for a pass interference on the defense, Chris. And then they get together and decide, hey, we're going to pick the flag up. Seriously?
I think that was a massively bad decision on the Zebras in that game. But I will say that it's going to be one of those things that, as a Commander fan, you're going to be glad when they come out and say, yeah, okay, it was wrong. But you're still going to be sitting there with that empty feeling because they can't go back and overturn that. But no. It will help future calls.
Chris, let me hit my cussing bell because I don't give a damn about future calls, man. I want this call today because we were on a roll. We had the momentum and we were driving. And then all of a sudden that call, in fact, what followed that bad call was then all of a sudden we ended up with a holding. So we ended up having to try like a 53-yard field goal in which my man Joey Slide missed it. And I'm like, but it was all predicated upon the referees getting together and deciding that, you know what, we're going to just, take that flag. Because, truth be told, every call you can have holding or whatever, but if you throw your flag, hell, stand by your call, brother.
No, I agree. It's detrimental to any side of the ball. If you're on offense and you're on a roll and they throw that flag and it looks like it's going your way and then it doesn't, it's like they just pull the air right out of everything. So, I mean, I get it. That's the official's way of controlling the outcome of a game sometimes, I guess. But it's just go back to the Green Bay game with Dallas with that blown, I didn't even call it though, but it pass interference on Green Bay that was so egregious, it should have been called. So, it happens every game. And I know it doesn't help. I can't control it, but it happens.
It does. But it's almost like when you were a kid. Who do you want to see take the immunization shot? You or your buddy? I would rather see it happen to somebody else than me. But come on. But I will tell you this. If we want to say that all things were equal, because I think they did a makeup call I wouldn't call it a makeup call as much as I would call it a bonehead call on the Giants. For example, they were going for the juggler, and Daniel Jones, he hits the receiver. I don't know what the young man's name was, and the guy was Slide, I think is his name. Anyway, he hits this guy. And the guy's open by himself. I am dog cussing because there's no DB around. And dude drops the ball.
Yeah.
He drops the ball.
That's the world's way of making that one right. Because he was. That dude's going to be missing some zeros on his paycheck.
Yes.
Because that was massive.
That would have been game, set, and match. Because it was in overtime and he dropped the ball. And then another situation where we had the ball. I mean, they had the ball. No, I take it back. We had the ball, and and the guy gets a unsportsmanlike taunting penalty. It's like what? But we'll take it,
Absolutely. But I don't know how I feel about that call. Just that penalty period beating in the NFL. You got a bunch of type A men who are out there playing. The
Yes.
testosterone is flowing, and you're gonna throw. I have my own opinions about that flag, but yes, I mean that's a whole nother. That was another one to take kind of the air out of the building a little bit there.
Cause I could spend a whole hour talking about taunting and how I feel that that shouldn't be part of the NFL. Cause like you said, you're grown men, man. Who cares about you getting your feelings hurt? He to me that he's a all penalties should have to do with some type of physical altercation. You know what I mean? Not words
Absolutely.
and stuff like that. Even the excessive celebration. I mean, man, let them celebrate. That's fun. Hell, if you don't want somebody dancing in your end zone, don't let them score.
Yep.
But this,
I mean, I agree 100%.
yeah, I mean, cause some of the acts that that the athletes have, it sounds like, man, when did they get together and practice that? Especially like Dallas's tight ends. Like, how the heck these guys ever figured that they were going to score and that all the tight ends would be out there together and they would come up with this routine of duck, duck, goose. It's like, when do these guys
Yeah,
get
the
together and
whole whack a
practice?
mole.
Yeah, it's just like choir practice. When do they get together and practice? Yeah,
It's got to happen when they break up into their skill groups. It's
I
got to be when it
guess,
happens.
man. Because that isn't something you could just draw up on the fly. Hey, man, look, I scored. Hey, come here, guys. You get in the Salvation Army. No, you got to practice that stuff. And to me, it's fun. It's entertainment. It all to me. That's all part of it's part of the ticket you pay for, man. That's entertainment. So who was the old screw that decided all that need to be taken out of the game, man? I don't know, man. Come on, man. Let them celebrate.
A lot of people who are continually try and draw, just pulling strings, make sure it's, PG. What no, if you're a home team and you're, you got in the end zone and your crowd's fired up. Yeah, of course you want to be fired up too on the field. So yeah, no, they need to get rid of all that. If it doesn't hurt somebody, and I mean physically hurt
Yes,
somebody, then it just leave it alone.
let them do their thing, man. So as I was saying, man, I was trying to just process this tie, man, because to me, I live by one standard, brother. A win is a win, and when is a win not a win? When it's a loss or a tie. That's the motto I live by, Chris. So I was like, So, well, thing about a tie is that it can hurt you or it can help you at the end of the season. It all depends on, we get into the tie break scenario and da 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 da. So now let's talk about your Cowboys. Now, Chris, this should not be a game.
Well, who's their running back? I can't think of it. Taylor. I can't think of his name now for Indianapolis. But if he goes off tonight, that's going to keep Indy in the game. And now they've only got, I don't know, 2-3 games where they have a lot of running back to really go off on them. But I don't know if Dallas's defense can keep their run game in check. I think Dallas will run away with it. But I don't know. It depends on what defense shows up tonight.
And what about the ghost of Matty Ice? The ghost of Matty Ice may show up, brother. All of a sudden someone may blow the cobwebs off of Matty Ice, and Matt Ryan might just I'm just saying. Just
I
saying.
was I was looking at his stats earlier today. He's at 10 interceptions on the year. Everybody's already kind of giving him 2 for this game. If I mean, it's just people talking, big heads talking. But I mean, if he does 1 and gives Dallas a short field, they're gonna take that knife and just twist it in that jugular. And he can do it, but I don't know. I just don't think he's there anymore to do that.
That's because he got you and I blocking for him. Hell, he got you and me blocking for him, and I ain't really blocking too much.
No, I know I'm not.
Like, whoops, dude, you supposed to duck, man. You see that coming? So, hey, I need to ask you this because you in the Cowboy family. OBJ. after this is, after he does some screwed up, you are gonna be calling him ODB, oh dirty bastard. So anyway, ODB, aka OBJ. So I hear he's in town. Is he in town? And he's not going to do
uh,
any type of physical activity. He's not going to work out.
and then you got Jerry Jones over there saying, he's not going to let him walk out without a deal, and we're still favored. Look, we know what you've done in the past. We know who you were, pre-injury. You're supposed to be healed up now. I need to see who you are post-injury before I start talking about giving you any money and disrupting my receiver room with who I've already got. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to play out that way. I think we're going to sign that check over, and we'll have him. And he won't even step foot on the field this year from what his team is saying. But I don't know. We'll see. It does sound like a deal that likes to be done in Dallas, though. He's already been, the incident on the flight. And,
Yeah.
He fits right in here as a star.
I'm like, okay, wait a minute. How are we gonna talk about signing this guy? And you're right, because to me, I think you guys bought was it James Washington came off of IR this week, and I think that's gonna be a bigger. I think that's gonna be a bigger help to the Cowboys than OBJ, because Washington, he knows the system. He's had some before he got injured. I'm sure he had some raps with Dak. Yeah, I mean he knows, and he's a veteran receiver too. So I'm just thinking, if you are the receivers in the Cowboys team now, on the Cowboys team now, and I used to now ask, correct me, am I wrong? Why are the receivers really pitching to bring in this guy? Because hell, isn't he gonna take some of their time and passes and stuff away?
I mean, is it the receivers though? I know the defense is out there. I know you've heard the running backs out there. CD Lamb ain't set out no tweet saying, "Hey, come on in, come on in."
Hell
I
no.
think CD has gone the exact opposite way and started having breakout games since the conversation arose, trying to show that front office, "Hey, we don't need him here. I can do this. Our team can do this." I think that's what the receiving team has done, not necessarily recruiting him. I think they're trying to keep him out.
Well, that's what I couldn't understand, and I'll be honest. I would be getting Dak the stink eye too. It was like, Dak, what the hell are you doing, man? You out here openly champion for, you basically saying, as a receiver, I'm not crap. You know?
Yep.
I'm like, wait a minute, brother, because you're talking about my money. You know? Just saying.
Exactly. And you've seen Gallup's even having bigger games right now too. So I don't know. I think they're trying to make the case. Why do we need him? And I'm getting there with them. I mean, if CD Lamb can keep having these breakout games and Gallup can keep the offense in it, we don't need another playmaker. We've got the guys we need.
Because,
Now, if they fall off, yeah, then the conversation can be had.
but it's not like the guy can just walk in right today, Chris, and contribute. You know? He's been
No,
injured.
that's what I say. Like, his team is even saying that he probably won't, like, more than likely will not step on a field this year, regardless of where he signs. This will be a next season acquisition. Like, why are we disrupting what we've currently got for next season acquisition? Let's play that in the offseason. We don't need to be doing that when we're trying to get to the playoffs.
Well, Jerry loves being on the news, though. Jerry loves a splash. Jerry's got to make a splash.
Anything to keep the Cowboys relevant.
Mm-hmm. Yes. 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 Because I'm just like, okay, you're gonna bring this guy in and disrupt the chemistry. And for me being a Commander fan, for me to be saying this, now I should be saying, hell, yeah, sign him today. Let's get him on that field. That's the Commander fan in me is saying this, but the former coach and player says, wait a minute, this is crazy, man. What the hell are we doing? Hey, man, we had a lot of injuries today too. You know that, right?
Oh, I haven't seen the complete injury report yet.
Jimmy G.
I've been looking at other numbers.
Jimmy G went down.
oh,
We're looking
oh,
at a broken foot for him.
yeah, he's done for the season. And this guy that I've never heard of in a day of my life comes in and helps San Francisco to a win today, which was pretty cool. But
He was a
and then
rookie.
Big Lamar, too, another one.
He's a rookie. This guy played. God, I think he's played for Iowa or something. I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's a rookie. So now, because I was thinking that the only team that seems to have you guys number in the playoffs are the 49ers. That's because they play that, they're physical. They play that style. But by losing Jimmy G, man, that 49ers, hell, they may not win the division. Because that's going to be.
But correct me if I'm wrong, though. This is the second time their starting quarterback's gone down this year. Mm-hmm. Jimmy G already stepped up.
Yeah. Remember, they lost Trey Lance.
Yep.
And now they're losing this guy. Mm-hmm.
It's going to make it a tough road for San Francisco to kind of continue with that style of ball they've been playing.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Can they? Yeah, I mean, they can do it, but, I mean, it's going to be tough.
It is going to be very, very, very tough, my brother. Very tough. Very tough. Well, Chris, my brother, I'm going to let you go, and so you can enjoy the game. And, I love talking to you, but let me let some of my callers get in because I got a strange feeling. It might be some Commander fans that might need some therapy.
I have a feeling you're right, man.
Okay, brother. Thank you.
Have a good night.
All right, bye. Sports therapy with F.A. Jr.
How you doing, brother Frank?
Oh,
how you
brother Brent.
This is your weekly Ravens extraordinaire, Brandon Cooper, calling from Grand Prairie, Texas. It is Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated's Founders Day. Just want to throw out, got to plug that in there.
All right, congratulations, brother.
Appreciate it. But on the negative side, my man Lamar Jackson today, even though we won the game barely, 10-9, Lamar hurt his knee, man. He got sacked, fell on his knee wrong. So now, everything's lining up for the powers to be not to pay him.
Yep. And we talked about that.
We did. But here's my thing. It didn't happen because he was running too much. Like, it could have happened to anybody. If you're getting sacked, coming from the blind side, you hurt your knee. But the way I'm looking at it is we're 8-4, still atop of the AFC North. But I'm gonna say this. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan, but I'm a diehard Ravens fan. But if Lamar were to go somewhere else and play, I'd be a fan for him too. I just don't see any reason why he would come back and play on the franchise tag. Because, we got the easiest strength of schedule. If Lamar gets hurt, let's say he has to get, a small procedure, take off about 4 or 5 weeks, we can still do that with Tyler Huntley, It just hurts, man. It just hurts that they didn't do nothing to help Lamar Jackson, and then this happens, and now he's not gonna get his money. You know what I mean? Like, I just hate to see that brother go through that. Like, who defied all odds. But outside of that, I can't be too mad as a Ravens fan. We got the win. But another thing that I want to talk to you about, besides y'all tying with the Giants, here y'all go into your old ways. Bro, the Giants gave you the game too.
Gave us the game.
How do you feel truly about Russell Wilson? Like, what should they do after this season? Because it's not getting any better.
You mean Russell for the Broncos?
Yeah, he's locked in for like 5 more years.
I was a big Russ fan, and a part of me still is. When he was the quarterback of the Seahawks, I was one of those that said, "Hey, man, let Russ cook. Let Russ cook. Give him a line."
I remember that movement. We all ate our words.
Yes, give him a line. Let Russ cook. Maybe they knew. Maybe it's the reason why those guys are in the position doing what they're doing, and I'm here in my You know, in, in my my little bunker, because I don't know. Is it because the injury? But I don't think it was. But all of a sudden, man, he's just not because now I'm trying to think. Well, maybe hell, maybe it's just a bad fit. But when you are an elite quarterback, it doesn't make there's no such thing as a good fit because you are the fit. You know. Um.
And that's what I'm trying to say, man. Remember, he was the missing piece.
Yes.
He was the missing piece.
And of course, there's some who's blaming it on his wife. You know, there's some.
Dude, I can't blame Sierra for this at
So,
all.
so there's.
There's no way in my mind I can wrap around blaming Sierra for
Mm-mm.
this at all.
Some are
But
saying maybe it's the altitude that they play at in Denver for the Broncos.
it's tough, man.
And now
Like it's tough because what is the rule of thumb, man? You don't extend a quarterback until they played that first year. Like, bro, you got $200 million tied up into this man over the next 5 years.
but when
You can't move off that.
when you're looking at these guys like Russell, Aaron Rodgers, they basically these guys basically have their skins on the wall. And when you're getting them, it's like okay, they have a body of work that their agents can market. Hey, look, this guy has Super Bowl. He's Super Bowl winning. When you can walk in and say, hey, you put that
I
ring on
have
the
this
table.
question for you. Are we legit watching somebody play themselves out the Hall of Fame?
I don't know yet. There's a part. See, like I said, there's a part of me, Brandon, that man,
It's
I'm
a
a
part of
Russell
you that
fan.
thinks that before this season, a part of you was like, okay, Russ is a Hall of Famer.
Yes.
But can we? But are we watching him play himself out the Hall of Fame? Like,
I'm going to say
because I just ugh.
I'm going to say Russell has a hidden injury that we don't know about.
Man, something got to be going on because the first game of the season, I gave that to the coach. I was like, the coach had bad situational football. But ever
Mm-hmm.
since then, hey man, nah, I can't rock with it, man.
I, I,
Like, and it's like when he gets his money and when you do stuff like this, now Lamar can't get paid. But
nope,
because of Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson this year, Lamar can't get paid.
can't get paid. He can't get
Because
paid.
the crazy thing is people are chalking up that Watson contract to that's just the Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
But it's like, bruh, Kyler Murray, we see Kyler Murray he's the problem. Russell Wilson, you're the problem.
But is it? And you played football at a much higher level than I did. I just played high school.
Mm-hmm.
But and my take on it, Brandon, is that defensive coordinators, and coaches at that level, those guys live at the office. They live there. They're constantly watching your central tendencies and knowing, okay, this guy does this. So at a point, are guys studying him and Tyler Murray? Are they studying these guys to the point to where they kind of like, okay, here's the blueprint. Here's the blueprint on this guy. You know what I mean?
They are, and man, that game film they're getting with Kyler Murray, you kind of know the blueprint on him, right? But the thing about Kyler Murray is he refuses to study the game more, so that's why he makes mistakes.
Right.
On Russell Wilson's side, I'd hate to say this, but is he as good as we thought he was? I'm just saying, man. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but it's just like, has he ever been the best player on a successful team?
But see, he never had when he was in. Now, was it Russ or was it the defense that they had in Seattle?
It was the defense. But see, this is my thing on Seattle. If Pete Carroll can turn Geno Smith into a Pro Bowl quarterback
Gino's looking like a
with
Pro Bowl
Metcalf
quarterback,
and
isn't
Lockett. Yeah, so that's my biggest thing. I'm like, wait a minute. It wasn't the weapons that you had in Seattle because Geno Smith is out here putting in work.
So it
couldn't have been him.
So is Pistol Pete the quarterback whisperer?
He is, but I don't like Matt Leinart. So that's why.
Is he the quarterback whisperer, man? Can he come up and whisper in you and say, man, look here, let me make you into a quarterback?
Hey, man, that boy Geno Smith over here playing like a first-round draft pick. That's all I'm saying, man.
I know, because I wanted him to lose so bad, so we could stay in that 7th position. But I think it's going to come back around if the Eagles take care of the Giants next week. But I'm just saying, man, because I'm looking at – because I was one of those who said, hey, man, let Russ cook, man. Give him the ingredients. Give him some carrots. Give him some onions, some bell peppers. Give him whatever meat. Let Russ go to the market and buy whatever he want to buy. Let Russ cook. But maybe Russ don't really have chef license, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those hard things, man. Not much happened in football today, besides y'all having probably the worst game I've ever seen in my life. But here's my thing on the Giants. The Giants could have beat y'all if they would have gave Saquon the ball. They should have won. I was like, yo.
Well, see, the deal was we had our defense was predicated on stopping Saquon. And that's why Daniel Jones kept, because they were running the RPO. And even though we said, okay, we're going to go in and stop this guy, all of a sudden, Now, here's – because I'll tell you, the blueprint on beating us is that our defensive line, they're tough. The linebackers are improved, but we are susceptible to the chunk play. You know what I mean? Where you just throw it up there, some DB out of position, and the guy, he's gonna get a pass interference, or he'll get a 30, 40-yard bomb and keep it moving. That's where we're liking. And so I think that was what, because at the beginning of the game, man, it was just like, okay, boom, boom, boom. We were looking good, then all of a sudden they were looking good.
Y'all was looking good, but my thing is defense will have to be your calling call.
Oh, it is.
Definitely when Chase Young get back, like y'all gonna be nice.
Well,
at times I had some pretty inconsistent pressure, but
here's the thing about Chase.
I hate this.
But here's the thing about Chase. Either come back and play, or just shut it down for the year. Let's don't get people all hyped up. Chase is coming back this week. Well, we don't know he's not gonna come. I understand they want to take their time and whatever, but at some point, hey, dude, are you gonna play or not?
If it gets to the point where y'all are bona fide in the playoff picture and y'all have a wild card seed, you gotta at least do something. Because I feel like even Chase Young at 75% is still better than the majority of the league. So if he can give y'all a few pressures and at least one sack in a playoff game, I think that's worth something.
Because I'm looking at, I believe the Eagles will be to take care of the Giants, because the Giants are really one-dimensional, man. They just got Saquon and that receiver. If you kind of shut that down,
it's literally like,
and you can't let them.
Like, hey, Saquon.
Yeah, and you can't let him hang around. You can't let him hang around because he got loose one time.
Giants is because y'all kept him hanging around because they got a lot of grit.
Yep.
And y'all kept them in the game. Yeah. Like, man, here y'all go. Here go the Commanders.
And see, then I start questioning, like I said, man, I'm old school, but I was like, man, play calling. Come on, man, what are we doing? One wide was like, here we go, 3rd and 1 again. We want to throw the ball. Like, man, pick up the freaking first down and keep the drive going and wear the defense down. But nah, but that's just like when we went into overtime, when we finally got our time up at bat, I said, okay, this game is over. We got the ball on like the 48-yard line. Okay. So we decide that we were going to run the ball, but we didn't run it with no enthusiasm. It's like, okay, we're just going to turn around and hand it to my man Robinson. Sometimes you at least get somebody in motion. Let's move. Let's get somebody on. Let's do something. Even though we're going to run the ball, we ran it 3 times in a row and picked up freaking 4 or 5 yards and had to kick it right back to the freaking Giants, man. And they would have won if they hadn't done any bonehead play, if the receiver hadn't dropped the pass, and if the guy hadn't got a taunting penalty. Hell, they'd have won the game.
I'm trying to tell you. Man, my thing with y'all is y'all are gonna build your team, but I feel like y'all should just stay with Heineke, man. Quit all the BS. Stay with Heineke and just keep building your team. But y'all can go.
now,
Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can apply pressure, and y'all can at least get a wild card every year, and y'all can be competitive, right? And on
we
the right. Because
we
remember a few years ago, y'all almost beat Tom Brady in that wild card game.
we need some studs we need some defensive backs. We need one or two defensive back. Give us a Jalen Ramsey. Give us somebody like that can kind of patrol some of that good stuff back there. And we good. Yeah, I think we could kind of. I would rather see us, to be honest with you, use a draft pick and bring a quarterback and let him sit behind Heineke for about another 2 years or 3 years or whatever, and let's roll. Because one thing about Heineke, he gives me a heart attack on every play, but it is something about him that makes the offense, because he gives McLaurin a shot, you know, and sooner or later McLaurin is
He don't quit.
you
He
know,
don't quit.
he don't quit. But you still need somebody there just in case you get a concussion or get knocked out the game. You still gotta have somebody there. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Brandon, appreciate you calling, brother. Let me get somebody else in here. Hey, man, give a plug in for what you guys do.
Hey, yes, sir, man. This is your boy Brandon Cooper from Grand Prairie, Texas. And check out the squad and myself, D1 Ignite University. We're on Anchor app, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify Podcasts. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at D1IGNANT University. Hey, come check us out. Also, A5A Founders Day. Shout out to the '06, man. I'm going to cross my fingers. Hopefully next week I got some good news on Lamar Jackson's knee.
Oh yeah, because I was gonna ask you that before you go. What's the preliminary looking like?
Man, they said they doing the MRIs and everything. It's just, they know, but they waiting to let us know. So
Okay, man.
here we go.
All right, brother. Keep hope alive.
Yes, yes, sir. God bless my brother and quit tying games,
I
man. It's
know,
a
brother.
zero-sum league.
Ah, dude. All right,
Right.
man.
Yes, sir.
Sports therapy, that for
What's
Junior.
going on, my brother?
My homeboy Glenn.
My brother.
Hey, homeboy Glenn, push your volume up on your phone a little bit there, brother.
Okay, hold on 1 minute. How's that? Hold
Oh,
on. How's that, brother?
all right. Got you coming in loud and clear, man. Loud and clear. What say ye, bruh?
Man, what's going on, man? It's a good day today in football. We still got a little winning streak going.
Hey, man.
Like we might be back on our way.
Hey, I was
So
gonna ask you,
some
man,
good
what you
football
think
tonight.
about your rookie, man? You happy with him?
Well, it takes a little time. I got to get to know him a little better. But right now, he look like he's trying to slowly come along. But he look like he's doing a little improvement. But we just need to open up our offense just like y'all Commodores do.
Man, we can't open up all offense. We open up all offense. You see what happened if we try to hold it while old boy get too far down the offensive line, can't hold up.
You all need an offensive coordinator.
We need some off. Well, now keep in mind, now today we had two of our offensive linemen to go down, and then we had like I don't know what this dude was that was playing center. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? But hey, so does it look like you guys gonna save my man from not having his first losing season?
Possibility.
Because we,
Possibility. We go. The gentleman you were talking to earlier
mm-hmm.
on the phone sound like he's a Ravens fan.
Yeah, he is.
They coming to town next week, and I know that's gonna be kind of tough. Hopefully Lamar Jackson get well and everything, but it's gonna be a tough game with the Ravens. So they always give us problems.
Yeah, they do, man.
And if we could get by them, you never know what might happen. Then you really can't. I know this Deshaun Watson first game. You can't really just count. Got to give him a week or two. You never know what might happen because you still got plenty of football left.
Now you gotta look at the fact that Deshaun Watson ain't played football in about what, almost 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's about 2 years.
yeah, you just can't get like you remember we talked earlier, man. You just can't get off the couch, man, and just go play any pro sport. I don't care if it's soccer, um, tennis, you got to get in game shape to catch up with the speed of the game. And now keep in mind because Deshaun has been out for almost 2 years. He don't have his timing down with his receivers. It's not like he finna just come out here and just pick up the Browns and put them on his back. And now remember he's going to a new team as well. So I'm not expecting a whole lot out of Deshaun Watson, to be honest with you. Just that I think he
Not this year.
nah, not this year. No, sir.
Yeah.
But
Not this year.
but whenever the Steelers and the Ravens play, I don't care what's going on. I'm watching that game because that is always a physical
tough,
game.
Yeah, man. Man, I know it, man. That's why I'm pissed off at Pittsburgh because we need a quarterback. Because over in that AFC and that division, you got Lamar Jackson, you got Joe Burrow, and then now you got Deshaun Watson. What the hell you going to go there and get a 35-year-old rookie for, man? You need to go. You might as well tank it going, hey, we need a quarterback over there, man. I know Kenny Pickett, he might come along. But, man, hey, type 1 over there, man, we need a quarterback because them guys going to be there to stay for a while. They're not going nowhere.
Let me ask you a question. Would you guys be open to getting Russell Wilson?
Hell to the no.
You don't think so?
Hell no. Hell no. No, I don't trust him.
Because see, I don't think the Steelers need to go and see you don't need another rookie quarterback.
You know who the Steelers should have got? Steelers should have got. They had a chance. I think they had a chance to get Geno Smith too. I might be wrong on that.
Nah,
it seems like they could have had a shot to sign him.
Because
they passed him. A few teams passed him up, and they paying for it now.
Because Geno was not a bad quarterback. Geno, remember, he got
quarterback.
Some trainer gave him a shot, collapsed his lung last year, and that put him out. And he, so he's never been. Geno just had never really. He wasn't a bad quarterback. So I'm not surprised at the thing Geno's doing.
No, I'm not surprised. He always has been a good quarterback.
Yes.
He's been a real good quarterback. He's the type of player can lead you. He's the type of player can lead you somewhere if you got the right system around it.
So now,
like Seattle.
Let me ask
Seattle got two of the best wide receivers.
Oh, they do. So let me ask you this: would you be open to Aaron Rodgers next year? Get a year or two out of him?
Too old. Nope. We need somebody young. We don't need no rental.
But see,
we need somebody young where they can bring up. Now, I probably would say, I tell you a quarterback. Now, it might sound crazy for me to say, but I'd rather take my chance with a guy like Baker Mayfield.
You know what?
Didn't take my chance with him. I'm being honest with you.
But
Baker Mayfield, he got his ways. We all do. But Baker Mayfield, he's not a bad quarterback now. He's just not bad if people want to put him out there to be.
I think
he's a high of a trophy, so that tells you something.
I think Baker Mayfield would probably do well playing for maybe Pittsburgh. I think he would do well playing for the Commanders. It's certain systems that Baker would fit in well. Teams that got like a good defense, gonna run the ball, stress running the ball first. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he's not.
I want to say. Oh, go ahead.
He's not going to be the type of if you thinking you need him to come out and sling it for about 300-400 yards a game. That ain't gonna happen because he can always try to make a play and put the ball in danger and all that. I just think I'm not saying he's a bus driver quarterback, but I just think he needs to be on a team where they heavily run the ball. They stress running first.
Right, correct. Yeah, that's right. You put him in the right system. I think Pittsburgh will be a good system.
I do too.
Because Pittsburgh got some nice wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
They got some decent wide receivers. But I want to commend Jalen Hurts. Everybody talking about Patrick Mahomes. They just gave him the MVP right now. Him and Josh Allen. You know how the media pick who they want to have it.
Right.
But I've been telling people all season, Jalen Hurts got that winner mentality. He's a winner, man. Everywhere he's been, he's a winner. Had a different offensive coordinator ever since he's been in high school, except for last year, this year. And
Well,
that guy always stayed focused. When you play up under Nick Saban and focus as he is, you can never do nothing but come out on top.
when you're the son of a coach, when you're the son of a coach,
Correct.
you're a coach yourself.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? Let's be honest with
You
you.
coach
When you're
yourself.
when you're a son of a coach, you kind of because I guarantee you, when you're a son of a coach, you've been there with your dad when he done pretty much got fired. When he don't, when he don't, you know what I'm saying? You know the game from a different perspective. And when it comes to Jalen,
That's true.
like I said, I think Jalen is a leader among men. He ain't the greatest passer, but he ain't the
Correct.
worst. I think on scale of 9, scale up 10 to 1 to 10 as a passer, I'd probably say about an 8. As a running quarterback, I'd say he a 9. As a leader, I give him 10 in leadership. So when you
Leadership. That's correct.
when you factor all that, oh yeah, because that's why when you play the Eagles, believe it or not, you go into the game thinking, okay, I'm going to stop Jalen from running first. But what people don't understand about Jalen Hurts is that he is a running back in a quarterback's body because the guy can squat about 700 pounds. So that's
right,
and
man.
see, he's not as durable as Lamar Jackson and some of these other cats, man. Jalen, he got some, he got some power with his. So I don't worry too much about him being a quarterback that you just gonna get injured, unless you trust, want him to run every play. But no, he's gonna be around.
That's true. And I feel sorry for Justin Fields too. I just hope Chicago can get that young man something before he gets injured too bad or before he get too old because he's an outstanding quarterback too.
Well, the
I
Bears.
think he just need a little more talent.
The Bears have never been a big spending team, though, man. An organization. They've never been an organization that just gonna go out and spend a lot of money, and that's where they at with them. So they need to get him an offensive line first. We have a quarter. You got to get him an offensive line first. Spend some money.
So he's a good quarterback, man.
Yeah,
Real good quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm looking at him today. He's a help. Man, I wish Pittsburgh had somebody like that.
but
Just letting talent go to waste.
that
talent going to waste right there.
But sooner or later, man, you're gonna get him hurt, man, because he's already having shoulder issues. It's just like I know you remember what's the quarterback Carr? They just ran him to death because he didn't have a good quarterback. Why you think my man for the Colts just kind of hung it in and said, you know what, I'm done? Because at some point, yes, it's like I'm done, man, because you can't take that pound and see. We only see a small perspective as fans from watching TV. But when you that quarterback, man, you can't take that every week, bro. You like, I'm done, man. I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Give me my money, but
it's tough out there.
It's tough.
Yeah, people don't realize how tough the games to get sometimes. But man, football been pretty good so far this year. It's been pretty good. I think every team except for Houston, Texas, maybe the Rams. They out of it. Rams, they out of it. I think they should go on trade Jalen Ramsey and should go and try to get out of there.
Yeah.
Go somewhere.
Hell, I wish they have a fire sale because we definitely could use him in our backfield.
Boy, if y'all had him, man,
that's all we need, man. All we need is him.
Y'all wouldn't need no offense.
No, that's all we need is Jalen. We got him back there because we need one stud back there directing the traffic and and laying down the law back there. We had him, we'd be good. But I'm just saying, man, that's I can tell you, Glenn, that, and you're right. There are no team that you can just pencil in a win because anybody can beat anybody. Anybody can beat anybody this year.
Team, I tell you, go ahead. Who you say?
Just like you got Tampa Bay. Hell, all them practically got a losing season. All of them got losing records. Right. So even the Saints can still come back. All they got to do is whoever gonna come out of that division, they gonna have a losing record anyway, and they no more than maybe 2 games out of first place.
The Saints might have been better if they went on and put Jamie Winston back at quarterback because the Red Rifle, his days is over with.
Man,
Andy Dalton, they should have went Jamie Winston. They should have gone put him back in there, or he should have gone ask for a trade because I still think he got a little more left in the tank.
now
They
that's
just don't utilize him like they should.
now that's who I think would make a good quarterback for you guys. James.
Jamie Winston.
Yeah, because I think he get
That's
there.
who I would like to have.
Yeah, I think he get there, and I think they can calm him down a little bit, and because see,
Yeah, that's the only thing he need a little calming down.
yeah, because see, I don't think he fits well into what the Saints what they trying to do. I think he'd do well if he was playing for the Steelers. I think that's a good quarterback. You guys can
Yeah, that's true. Well, the Saints lost a lot when they lost their coach.
Yeah, they
coach
did.
they got now, he might have been a good defensive coordinator,
Right.
but that don't make you a good coach.
So now let me ask you a question though, man. Since I got you on here, you still on that bandwagon for them Chargers?
Hey man, look at it, man. Don't be trying to hurt my feelings on your show, man. Man, ain't one for a damn.
I know, man. I'm disappointed for you.
Man, I picked them as mine. Man, hey, I'm for real, man. I don't know what happened to them and the Denver Broncos, man. Because I said the Denver Broncos, the Chargers, with Kansas City, and who else over there? The other teams. I picked the Chargers and the Raiders, but I picked the Chargers and the Broncos to be right there at the top.
Yeah, I know.
And
hell, I'll deal with you. I'm not gonna lie, I was with you.
I don't know what I just don't know what happened, man.
I was there with you.
I really don't. I don't understand it, man. So they got talent all over. They well around the talent. I don't know if the coaching.
I was there with you, brother. I was like, okay, man, I like their quarterback. I like the receivers they got. I like the defense. I like everything about them Chargers, man. All of a sudden, hey, but you know what? There was a lot of major injuries today, brother. Jimmy G got a broken foot, bro.
Yeah, man. But, man, the 49ers, it's still tough. But, man, that bag of quarterback they brought in today, you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, well, I saw him in college, man. Well, see, when you first bring in a backup quarterback, the teams don't really know too much because your whole game plan is centered around Jimmy G. And next week they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna make this rookie have to beat us because we're gonna walk that man up in the 8 men in the box. We shutting down this run and we're gonna make so. But the way they play their style, which is they're not changing their style. I don't care who back there. They're not changing their style, which is we physical, we run the ball. And we run it some more, and that's what we do.
Well, I tell you, man, it's tough. It's tough. It's good this year. Football, I'm enjoying it this year.
Oh, I am too.
I'm really enjoying it.
I am too.
I am because I think you got teams. Everybody don't improve. Each division got better.
And
even Buffalo 2 weeks ago, they was almost out the playoff picture.
And the division that you thought wasn't. And the division that you thought wasn't gonna be any good, hell, the team that you thought was gonna be any good, they're the ones who, hell, it's like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago, Buffalo was almost talking about like out the playoffs, in the wild card picture.
Yep.
Now they in the top of the AFC.
Yeah.
So things have changed in 2 weeks. You look at the team like the Raiders. They won 3 games in a row.
Yep.
You never know. You never know. Anything can happen. Only somebody ran away with the division probably is the Minnesota Vikings. And they're not what you call it, dominating. They didn't dominate.
And they should have lost at least 40 games that they played. We should have beat them. I think the Bills should have beat them. The Bills beat themselves and they only. Oh yeah, so they should at least
them. Should have lost today.
Yeah. It's like they got the best record of a team that should have lost at least 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They probably a one-hit wonder. Make it to the playoff, play one time, get put out.
Like I say, man, this year it is hard to put your finger on which team is. Hell, look at the Bengals. They rolled up and beat Kansas City today, and hell, everybody was saying that was going to happen.
Yeah, but everybody thought the Bengals was a fluke because they went to that Super Bowl. They tough, man. They defense will make them good, man. Their defense is tough.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now
they got a
I
solid
was
team. They got a
disappointed.
good-
I was disappointed in them with the way they played Dallas. I was like, come on, man. I thought y'all gonna play better than that, but maybe that was just the first game. But
Man, I'm sitting here now looking at Dallas and the coach.
what's the score?
Man, I know the coach gonna try to find a way to lose.
What's the
You know,
score?
the coach. I had picked the coach. It's 10-0. I mean 10-7.
Oh, okay.
Coach.
So coach at least give him
Second
a
quarter.
game.
The coach got a good coach. I know one time they was a good solid team, but just lately I don't know, injuries and you know, they best linebacker he out. Well, Dallas running up down the field now.
What I think is gonna hurt Dallas is that sometimes when you start playing these cupcake teams, you're not really tested, and then when the playoffs roll around, all of a sudden it's like, okay, hey man, we've been just like, doing what we want to do, and then you run up on somebody like the 49ers, who've been playing just,
Right.
every game has been a knife fight with them, and it's like they're battle tested, and so sometimes when you start playing
That's right.
that those cupcake teams, because I think Dallas last 4 games is really not gonna be until they play. I don't think they play the Eagles again.
They play Eagles Christmas Eve.
Okay, they play the Eagles and they play us. But
They play the Eagles. They got your guys one more time.
well, everything else, the rest of their games are pretty much cupcake, man. They
put Dallas in the playoffs this year with that schedule.
And I can't.
Alabama could have came in the NFC and won the division.
And I can't figure out how they got because that's considered almost a last place schedule because they won the division last year. They should have been playing all division. Yeah, I don't understand how they got that schedule, but I was like, man, I don't know who.
Well, they want to put them in the playoffs this year.
I was like, come on, man.
They want to see them in the playoffs. Yeah, they want to see them in the playoffs for one more time. So they can at least make some money off them in the first round because that's the far they going.
I was like, come on, man. What are they doing?
Yeah, their schedule is easy, man. I'm talking about you got Detroit, Chicago, which, man, I'm talking about the Giants got a brutal schedule.
Yes, that's why.
Be honest, they got a brutal schedule.
And that's why I know that we are eventually going to overtake the Giants because the Giants, they got a brutal schedule. They play us again. They play I think they play the Eagles again. Yeah, they play the Eagles next week. Right. Then they play us. Then they got they got I think they play the 49ers. They got a tough schedule coming up, man. But
right. We do like Pittsburgh, man. We got Baltimore twice, man. And we got Baltimore twice. We got Cleveland. But you might have Cleveland twice, and it's tough on our end.
But you know what? I didn't want to see Lamar get hurt. But as far as that I think y'all would rather face Tyler Huntley 2 games than have to face the Ravens with Lamar Jackson. So y'all could at least split that. Y'all might take both of those, and it's gonna be interesting.
Man, we don't have no offensive coordinator. We Pittsburgh just like the Commodores don't have no offensive coordinator.
We ain't got none. I'm always questioning our play calling, man. I'm like, wait a minute, man. We went into overtime. We went into overtime. They got the first shot. We got the ball back. We're on the 48-yard line. I'm like, okay, we finna win this. So we instead of okay, I'm for running the ball, don't get me wrong, but they didn't even try to disguise the run at all. Like, okay, move somebody in motion, do something at least. They just turn around and hand the ball off to my man 3 times in a row, and we end up having to punt the ball back to the Giants. I'm like, man, and the Giants should have won that game, to be honest with you. Dude dropped the he dropped the pass. And then the other fool around and got a taunting penalty. I was like, come on, man. So hopefully we'll get them when we get back, next week because we're going to be rested. And so we don't play next week.
You don't play them in 2 more weeks.
Yeah.
And they, 2 more weeks, though.
Yeah, they play the Eagles. They play the Eagles next Sunday, then they got to play us. So, like I said, they got a brutal schedule. So, hey, Glenn, it is that time, brother. You are finna hear the sound of my music, man. I appreciate you calling. You know I love it when you call in because there's nothing now. You want to get your word or two for your favorite team, the Cowboys?
Man, damn them Cowboys. I've got the cursor veil on right quick. Can you put the cursor veil on? Damn them Cowboys, man. Damn them Cowboys. I hope they don't win a damn game. I sure hope they don't win MF game no more this year. Take care, my brother. Love you.
All right, man. Take it easy, Glenn. All right, as we wrapping and capping one more week, this has been Sports Therapy with F.H. Jr. Want to thank all the good people for tuning in. Let me get my list. This is my shout-out list. One more time, I want to say congratulations to my nephew, Ashley Given, for winning that championship and the Little Rock Park Group Patriots. Yeah, before we get out there, let me thank some people. First, I got to pay some bills. Discover Crown Royal Blended Canadian Whiskey, blended fit for a king. Expertly blended since 1939. After a long, hard-day crime fight, man, you know I reached for a bottle of Crown Royal and I said, crown me, baby. Now, want to thank Bridget from H-Town, Jay in Grand Prairie, Chris, Cowboy Fan, Brandon from D1 Ignat University, and my homeboy Glenn. Want to say hi to all the country kids down in Arkansas and Louisiana and the boot. Also, all those on the yard. Y'all know I always say stay golden to all the lines. This has been F.H. Jr.